Hi and welcome to this week's sermon. In this week's parsha, we read about appointing a king and the halachas that come along with that appointment. And one of the halachas is that once you've appointed a king, that king needs to have a Sefer Torah written, especially for him. And that Sefer Torah needs to travel with him wherever he goes. He needs to have that Sefer Torah everywhere. And one of the questions that they ask is, we chose a king not just based on his looks, not just based on his popularity, but we chose a king based on the fact that he would be a leader that would put forward Jewish values. So how come he now needs to write another Sefer Torah? Why is this Sefer Torah important, and what's the secret or maybe the idea behind the Sefer Torah? And Reb Shimon Schwab gives the following explanation and the following idea, which is very beautiful and can then also give us our own personal idea. He says that when you have somebody, no matter how well-meaning they are, no matter how wonderful they are, if that person comes upon power, that changes that person. I remember when I was in high school, the saying, the adage that we used to have was, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so therefore you have an individual here that's now been given a power that he's never had before. And with that power comes a responsibility. But he might not use that power correctly, and we're worried that he's not going to use that power correctly. So the Torah says, we have given you this power, but realize and recognize with that power you need to write a Sefer Torah. You need to have Yirah Shamayim. You need to be afraid of heaven. And you need to realize that that power has not been given to you to abuse, but that power has been given to you to share and to use in the right way. He then goes on and he points to a passage in davening with this similar idea. In Rosh Chodesh benching, in the Birkas HaChodesh that we said last week, we say, Chaim sheyesh b'hem yirah shamayim v'yiras chet. One of the things we pray for is a life that is full of fear of heaven and fear of sin. And then again at a later point we say, Chaim sheyesh b'hem avas Torah v'yiras shamayim. A life that is full of love for Torah and a life that is full of Yirah Shamayim, fear of heaven. Why do we mention fear of heaven twice? And he points at it and he says, in between those two sentences, we have another one. Chaim shel osher v'chavod. You have a life filled with wealth. You have a life filled with honor. And you take a person, you give them wealth and you give them honor, and it changes that individual. So you pray, Chaim sheyesh b'hem yirah shamayim, you want to have the fear of heaven. But if you're going to then, after you have the fear of heaven, maybe come upon wealth or honor, you might lose that fear of heaven. And so we pray a second time, Chaim sheyesh b'hem avas Torah v'yiras shamayim. A life that's going to be full of love for Torah and, again, fear of heaven. Many of us have had success. And that success, you look out into the world, success changes people. And one of the greatest accolades you can give someone is that he has had success, but he's never let that success get to his head. He might have had more money now, but he's still going to be nice to the person that's lower down. He might be more honored than he used to be, but he doesn't look down on those people that are lower than him. We have to make sure that even if we are successful in life, and hopefully we will be successful in life, that success doesn't go to our head. It doesn't change us as a human being, as an individual. We're still the same charitable individual. We're still the same person that wants to do for others and that wants to help others. And that we take that success and turn it into responsibility and use that success to give other people success, as opposed to take away that success from others. And if we do that, we will have learned the lesson of the king and his Sefer Torah, a life of Yirah Shamayim, and understanding success is a good thing. We pray for success, but we also pray that when we get that success, we still remain as humble as we were before. Wishing you all a very good Shabbos.